Hi everyone, my name is Kartik and my channel is about mental models. In this video I will be talking about a mental model called multiplying by zero. This is one of the more simple mental models to understand. But even though it is simple to understand, there are two very interesting things that I find about this mental model. Multiplying anything by zero results in, of course, zero. So, as an example, let's say you've got 5 times 5 times 5 times 0. The answer is, of course, 0. This is a mathematical equation, but the first very interesting thing is that this is also true in real life, and this is why it is a mental model. So, if I'm an estate agent and someone has come to me to put their house up for sale and I charge 1% commission on the sale, if the asking price is, let's say, 1.5 million, that's the asking price, until a sale is made, my commission is 0. So if the asking price increases to 1.6 million or even 1.7 million, my commission will always be 0. When there is no sale made. And that will be the case until a sale is made. It doesn't matter how big this number is. The most important number here is this 0. And so this is what I would need to work on. This is essentially the sale. So let's say, for example, if the seller wants 1.8 million for their property, which at 1% commission looks like £18,000 for me. Sounds nice. Now, if there is only one buyer for this property that comes forward and they put in an offer of 1.6 million, then what this looks like is 1.8 million times 0, or 1.6 million times 0.01, which is my 1% commission. So this is £0 and this is 16,000. And so the question is, here I've got no sale, and here I've got, let's say, an offer with the view of a possible sale. And so the question is, how acceptable is the offer to the seller? But if the seller or I as the estate agent stay at 1.8 million and don't show any flexibility, I might not be getting my commission. Let's take another example. Let's say I have Wi-Fi at home. This is my home. And I've got my router up here. That's my router. And so my router is upstairs and there are floors and thick walls in the way. And so in terms of the signal sort of coming out, I have, this is what it sort of looks like, the Wi-Fi signal. And so I have very slow connection here, and use a different color. No signal here. You get a bit of signal in this room as well. So if I increase my Wi-Fi speed, will that help me? If I increase my Wi-Fi speed, will that help me get signal here, basically in this room? No, it won't. Of course, if I'm next to the router, if I'm standing here, then my internet will be better. But if I'm sort of down here, then again, I will get nothing, because again, we are multiplying by 0, whether it's 50 megabits per second or 300 megabits per second. This wall, or these walls, this one, and this floor are the zeros, which results in my overall signal down here in this room to still be a 0. So that was the first interesting thing. The second interesting thing is that this mental model helps us to identify two types of systems. These are additive systems and multiplicative systems. Multiplicative systems are like the ones I've just mentioned here and by this example. Another example is in finance. Systems are multiplicative. Take equity, for example. If you hold ordinary shares in a company for many, many years and the value grows steadily, if one day the company becomes insolvent and shuts down, then you get 0, irrespective of the value of the ordinary shares beforehand or how long you have held the ordinary shares. Additive systems work differently. Going back to my example here of 5 times 5 times 5 times 0, additive systems are like, so I'll just put it here, are like 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 0 rather than the times. So in this case, you get a result, you get an answer. The 0 here doesn't have the same effect. Now, you may say that the 0 doesn't have any effect at all, and that would be true if you're just looking at this equation alone. But let's say the equation was originally 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Let's say that was the original, and then it was changed to this one. And so in this little example, you can see that the 0 does lower the outcome, but it doesn't make it naught. It doesn't make it 0 itself. So the results are 20 and 15. And the point I'm making is that there is an outcome. There is a result. So there is an outcome. It isn't nothing. It isn't 0. So in real life, additive systems are ones where you will get a different outcome depending on whether you add or remove elements in the system. But there is still an outcome. The key is, as I've said, it doesn't become 0. Take a chemistry exam. If there are 10 questions and you got one question wrong, you won't get a 0 based on this one question. Another example is going to the beach and having a picnic, where you have, for food, you have sandwiches, crisps, biscuits, juice and cake. If a seagull flies away with a packet of crisps, your picnic will still go ahead. It won't come to an end. And if you decide to swap the cake and get some ice cream from a local vendor, then again, that won't change the outcome drastically because it's an additive system. In other words, the picnic at the beach will still be an enjoyable experience because the system works very differently to a multiplicative one. Going back to the title of this mental model, multiplying by 0, this model helps us identify these systems in real life, in reality. And going broader still, additive and multiplicative systems are connected to the systems thinking mental model, which I will cover in a future video. So you've got multiplicative systems and you've got additive systems, and they are both connected to systems thinking. And they are also both, obviously, as I've just mentioned, connected to multiplying by 0. So this mental model as well. And I will cover systems thinking in a future video. And that's all for this video. If you enjoyed this mental model, it's quite likely that you will enjoy these two videos on distribution and probabilistic thinking. So please go and have a look at these as well. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one with another mental model. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.